Hey everyone, welcome to another video by Shikha. I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are. And in today's video, I wanted to speak to you guys about how most people on this planet, or most people that I meet at least, most people that INFJs meet, unfortunately, they're the kind of people who are just waiting to speak. So you know how we're having a conversation, and a conversation is all about give and take. INFJs, or specifically me, I guess, I don't know if INFJs in general, but we're really about fairness, right? INFJs do care about fairness, we care about justice, and everything in our mind is, we kind of like judge about it, like we're judgmental in that way that we judge if it's being fair in general or not. We shouldn't be giving too much or taking too much, and the other person in front of us shouldn't be giving too much or taking too much. It should all be balanced out because it's unfair to one person to give too much or to take too much, right? And so we're always making sure that the people around us are like that. We want to be surrounded by people who are fair, who are not going to take too much of us, and who are not going to give too much either to us because we get uncomfortable either way. I don't want to take too much from you, and I don't want to give you too much either. I want it to be balanced. I want to be in relationships with people that care about me and want to give to me, but also are willing to take from me, are believing that I will be there for them. They can take from me as well, right? They can rely on me and I can rely on them. But what happens in a lot of cases, in a lot of relationships, and that's why a lot of relationships, we kind of get into it and say, no, I don't think this is going to work, and then we get out of them right away. What happens is that the person is basically waiting to take. So we're having a conversation and, I say something about I had an amazing day yesterday. It was so great. I did YouTube videos and I did my writing and everything worked out perfectly. And as soon as I stopped speaking, the other person didn't even listen to what I said. They didn't register. They didn't listen. They didn't hear what I said. They didn't actually pay attention to what I said. And instantaneously they'd be like, you know what? My day was really bad. It was really bad. I did this and that and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh no, that's too bad. I know everyone has one of those days. Again, the person didn't actually listen, and they'll spew off with like, oh, I always have a lot of these bad days. I'm always like this, la la la. So basically, what's happening is that I'm giving and I'm giving and I'm giving, and then they're taking and they're taking and taking, and they're not actually giving anything back. You see, it's like a volley when you're playing tennis or badminton. You hit the ball across the court to the person, and the person hits the ball back across to you. They don't just keep the ball and keep on using it on for themselves. They have to hit it back to you. That's what a conversation is all about. And for me, a fair conversation, and it's weird how I think about things this way. I think it's an INFJ thing. But a conversation has to be fair, where I'm sitting there and I'm listening to you and I'm paying attention. I'm being present with you and I'm giving you back. So I'm thinking, oh, you know what? That's too bad. How about you try this out? Or how about you do this? Or have you thought about that? So I'm always giving in a conversation, right? And then I'm expecting for that person to listen to me, whatever I have to give to them, and then provide a suitable volley back, like a suitable reply back, where they've proven to me that they actually listened to what I said and they pushed it back out to me. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope I'm making sense. Because it's very rare that happens. And that's the reason I have very few friends, is because most people, what they want to do is they want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about how they have a hard life, or how they're awesome, or how they're so unique, or whatever it might be. They want to talk about themselves, and I'm here to listen. I am here to listen. But when I speak, which is very rare, but when I speak, it might seem like it's not rare because I do a lot of these videos, but normally I don't like talking about myself. But when I do speak, I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. Be present with my words, because I'm not speaking that often. I'm letting you speak all the time. That's totally fine. You take the spotlight. I don't want the spotlight. You can have it. You can speak to me constantly and tell me things. But when I do say something, I want you to take the opportunity to listen. I want you to be present with it. And then I want you to give it back to me in a way that seems suitable to me, where I don't feel like I'm just being taken advantage of. And a lot of times that's one of the things about being an INFJ, is that because we're great listeners and because we have great insight on people and because we're intuitive, we'll have a lot of good feedback to give to people. And so people get addicted to that, I guess, and people get addicted to the fact that we actually listen to them and we're actually there for them and we're not always just wanting to speak on our own. And so people will get addicted to it and they'll just keep on talking and talking and talking. And so there's no give and take anymore. And at that point, I know that I'm being taken advantage of. And that's one of my pet peeves in general, is I never ever want to take advantage of people, nor do I want to be taken advantage of. And because it happens so often, I'm really sensitive to it. So when it starts happening, instantaneously, unfortunately, I'll do the door slam and I'll cut them off. Because I know I don't want to teach them, because most people are not going to listen. Even if I try to explain to them, can we have a fair conversation? Most people are not going to understand what that means, because they're just waiting to speak themselves. They're not going to listen to what I'm saying, because they're just waiting to speak themselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's very rare that I actually meet people where they actually listen to what I'm saying, and then they volley it back, and then I listen to what they're saying, and then I give it back to them. And that conversation just flows, and it's so awesome, because I feel like I'm entering a different dimension, because we're able to kind of listen to each other and volley back and forth and give feedback to each other, and we enhance each other's conversations and lives because of this. Because we're not just waiting to speak, but we're actually listening. And actually listening is such an important skill, guys. It's such an important skill. If you want to be charming, and if you want to make friends easily, and if you want to have an easy life, just switch off from talking a lot to listening a lot, and actually listening. Not sitting there and thinking about your Facebook page, or thinking about how much money you're making, or thinking about what you're going to do next, and then waiting for that person to finish, but actually sitting down, being here, being present, being grounded, being mindful, and listening to what that person has to say. Because what they're saying is they're pouring their heart out in front of you, and what you need to do is take that heart, that tender, delicate heart that they've poured out in front of you, take it, be tender and delicate with it, and then give it back to them by taking care of it and, being kind to it. I know it's a really weird imagery, but basically that's what people do when they're talking about themselves. They want you to listen to them and to be tender with them and to make sure that you're there for them. That's the reason people talk to INFJs, is because we know that. That's what you guys want. You want to talk to us. You want us to listen, and you want us to be there for you. Because you're taking your heart from inside of your chest, you're putting it out in front of us and saying, here it is who I am. Here is exactly who I am in my entirety, in my true self. I never ever show this to anyone, but I'm going to show it to you because I trust you. Here I am in front of you. Here is my heart. This is my essence, my soul, my spirit. And I'm going to show it to you because I want you to see it, because I never show it to anyone else. And I want you to see it because I really, truly want, for the first time, for someone to see who I truly am. And then you were sitting here as INFJs and we're like, I am so honored and I'm so grateful that you're able to trust me to show me this. And I'm here for you. So tell me all about how you want to be more true to yourself. And we'll sit and we listen, and they pour their heart out. And we listen some more, and they pour more of their heart out. And in essence, they pour everything that they are in front of us for the first time a lot of times, because they've never been able to do that with anyone else. And that is the gift that we have as an INFJ. So when people do that to you, take it. Take it for what it is. And I know that I said I cut people off, but I don't cut them off until they've done what they need to do in front of me. A lot of times they're there and they're pouring their heart out, and they have tears in their eyes and their tears in their heart, and they're basically ripping their soul apart in front of me. And I sit there and I'm listening, and I'm looking into their eyes, into their soul, and I'm letting them know that I'm here for them. And I'm listening to them. And do not fear. I'm never going to judge you for it. I'm never going to break your trust that you've placed your heart right in front of me into my palms. I'm going to take your heart as it is, and I'm going to be tender with it. And I'm going to take care of it. And you have nothing to fear that I'm going to make you feel weird or uncomfortable because you've done that to me, right? A lot of times that's the reason I'm very careful about the energy that I put out into the world. Because what happens is that people know that we're an INFJ and we're an intuitive and we're empaths. So they will come and they'll pour all of this misery and depression and all that stuff on us. And so when I meet up with a person and I know that that's going to happen, I'm really careful to make sure that I close my heart off. And that's weird, that sounds odd that you want to do that as an empath, but that's really important. most people who work in these kind of fields, like empathic fields, like therapists or people who are taking care of other people, like doctors, nurses, or in general healers, they have to be really careful with their hearts. Because what happens, guys, is that, we're open to the world and we're there and the person's pouring all of this negative black energy into the space around us. And what we are as empaths is we take all of that energy and we take it inside of us. We kind of transform it through the magic alchemy of our alchemy, and we push it back to them in a positive way. So the energy has been transformed into positivity, and we give it back to them. And then they're able to take this positivity and they feel better after, right? That's what INFJs do. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. But what happens is we take it too deep inside of us, then we're actually going to hurt ourselves, because that black energy is going to engulf our entire body, our entire spirit, and it's going to make us depress ourselves. And we're going to spend the next few days in a funk. We're going to feel like crap. We're going to hate ourselves. We're going to hate our lives. We're going to be in that mode. What you need to do is you need to take it in, obviously, to transform it, but don't take it deep into your heart. Protect your heart. Protect your heart from all of this harm and have the barrier set up perfectly. But you can take it still in, and we're so deep as INFJs, right? As most people are, but we know our depth and we know how far we can take it. So you can take it just to the surface, because that's enough. That's enough positivity, because we're filled with positivity, right? So you just take it to the surface and then you push it back to them. And you have nothing to worry about, because it's not going to affect you, and you won't have to go home and sit in your cave for the next week because you took too much negativity in. Because we have to be really, really, really careful with that, right? So I've spoken about a bunch of different things in this video. I hope it makes sense to you guys. I just wanted to share my thoughts on how INFJs do things, how I do things, how I really, really, really wish that more people listened rather than just spoke, yeah? I hope this makes sense. Again, if you guys want to join my team, you can go on to patreon.com/boomshikha, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye for now.